So then my teacher called me to his room. He was the abbot of the monastery, and he called me to his room and he said, you know, you're the first foreigner in 600 years to graduate from our monastery. And so congratulations. And they give you a little white scarf called a kata. They hang it around your head. And then he said, but you know, as a foreigner, we have a second examination for you. You know, and I'm like, you didn't mention any second examination. Then he said, oh yeah, you go to New York, you start a business, you prove that you understand what we taught you. Because supposedly they teach you how to shift the future, how to change the future, how to shape your future. You know, if you understand the laws of karma, then supposedly you can adjust your future path and you can make things happen. So they said, your examination is second examination. Go to New York, start a business, make $1 million. We'll give it away to the refugees because we're not allowed to keep money. So then I fought with him for like, I don't know, 6 months. It was like a silent standoff. You're not supposed to say no to the Lama. You think those rosaries are for prayers? You get this, they will hit you. And then you get these red dots across your forehead. In the monastery, that's what a rosary is. The teachers use the rosary. That's why all those Tibetan monks are so well-mannered. 25 years of rosaries. Then, so eventually I went to New York and I did start a business. We started with 3 people. And then now it has reached now it's about 250 million a year. And it is owned by Warren Buffett. And then people asked me, how did you do that? You know, people started asking me, how did you do that? And then my friends and I, we started giving trainings with different companies around the world. And I wrote that book. And the book has been translated into many languages in countries I don't know about, and editions I don't know about. A lot of them are black market, but in Russia and China, for example, it's used quite extensively, and we've been approached by a Russian company. They just got back from Russia. They have 32,000 employees, banking and petroleum, and each employee is required to read the Diamond Cutter in Russian. And I don't know who's printing it, but it's interesting. And then like that, same in Beijing and China. So we often go to China. We're there, I don't know, 3 months a year. And we train companies in China about these principles. One day in southern China, in a place called Guangzhou, which is where all the stuff in the world is made, probably the chair you're sitting on, outside of Hong Kong. And then I gave a business talk, you know, how to use diamond cutter principles to be successful financially. And then one lady raised her hand. They go like this, right? They don't go like this. You know, and she said, 为什么? You know, can you use this to fix your husband? You know, can you use karmic principles from Diamond Cutter? They call it Jinkanjing. They have the Diamond Cutter Sutra. It's the oldest printed book in the world. And can you use those principles to fix your husband? Then there's some guy, of course, raised his hand and said, I want to fix my wife. You know, and I said, yeah, I guess you could. I mean, they don't train us in the monastery for that. But then people started asking, and then someone came and said, I have breast cancer. Can you use these things? Can you use these principles for a serious health problem? Then obviously many people come and say, I have enough money and I have a good relationship and I'm healthy, but I want peace in my mind. I want inner peace. Can you use these principles to have a peaceful mind and a quiet mind? And you can. And then of course, really, almost everywhere we go in the world, and we go many, many countries, in the end someone will ask, can you use these principles for world peace? Can you create a world without poverty or sickness? Is it possible to use these ancient teachings for a world of peace? And what's interesting is that if you learn this particular system of life, right? It's just a way of conducting your life. And it's basically through ethical principles, but in a special way. If you learn it to achieve your own goals in life, which you can, and I did, then you can automatically, because of the nature of this method, you are helping the world also. You are creating a better world and a more peaceful world and a more prosperous world. So just to learn these principles and to try to put them into practice, automatically you are helping to create a better world. It's a nice system. By achieving your own goals, you are helping the world already. And we'll talk more. We have 2 nights to talk about it, and I'll get to it by tomorrow, okay? By tomorrow evening. I thought, so those are the basic goals that people have in their lives. I've been teaching, I don't know, over 30 years, and thousands and thousands, tens of thousands of people, and people basically in their life, they want financial security. I don't mean greedy. I don't mean you want 3 cars because you only have one bottom, or you want a 20-room house when you can only sleep in one of those rooms. But people would like to be financially independent. People would like to be able to buy what they want and have what they want and do what they want without thinking about money, you see? Like, we would all like to reach a point in our finances where we just don't have to think about money. The money comes, and we do the things we want. Actually, most people in the world, when they talk to me, they want to become wealthy, they want to have financial independence, but in the end, most of them want money because they want to help other people. They want to donate money, or they want to help other causes, like the Bill Gates and the Warren Buffetts of the world. When you have enough money, when you reach what I call oxygen money, when money is like oxygen for you and you don't have to think about it, then you become even more generous and you start helping other people. So many people, I think, it's not a selfish reason. They would like to be financially independent so they could help more people. And then naturally people would like to have a beautiful partner. It's lonely to have a lot of money and to have no friends, or to have no beautiful partner in your life. And then, of course, people would like to have good health. I think all of us would like to have energy, youthful energy. We would like to be young. It's a drag getting old. It's a drag getting tired. It's a drag to have your mind become more dull as the years go by, and to know that you were more creative before and you can't be as creative now. I mean, all of us would like to be able to affect our mind and our energy. This is basic 3 desires of a human life. In this system in which I was trained, so I was trained very, very strictly for 25 years. And it's a very strict program. It's a very, very difficult. We start at 3:30 in the morning and we go till 10 or 11 at night, and there's no break. And a lot of the young men go crazy. I mean, we lose a typical class before you reach a Geshe. You might start with 60 monks, and in the end we had 4. So it's a very difficult program. But if you get through it and if you understand it, then you can make stuff happen in your life, and it's like magic. So I just go around the world. I don't care. I'm not trying to make people Buddhist. It's not my interest. I don't care what picture you have in your house. It doesn't matter to me. I still go to All Saints Church. I sneak in there on Sunday, the early service, and down the street. And I don't care. I don't think most of us can relate to a blue 12-armed God. You know what I mean? To me, it doesn't matter. The principles that I would like to speak about, and that I'm grateful for Robbie for organizing this talk, they are universal, and they are beautiful, and you can change your life, and you can change the lives of other people. So it's just something. Learn it, take away what you would like, It won't work if you don't try it. Try it quietly on your own. You don't have to report back to anybody. And see if you get $200 million or something, you know. And not because we are greedy people, but because we can help more people. And I have, with the money I have, 25 years of supporting Tibetan refugees. We just finished the last ancient book from India, 4,600 books. It took 25 years. We just finished typing in the last book about a month ago. It went up online. We cataloged 141,000 texts in St. Petersburg, Russia, in the Hermitage. That was finished last year. And we're cataloging all the books in Mongolia. That's 16 years now. But those take money. It takes money to do good things and great things. So here we go, all right? And use it, try to use it, okay? Just try it yourself, quietly. Try it for your own life. It's a way of planting your future. I live in Rimrock, which you never heard of. It's near Camp Verde, which you also barely heard of. Camp Verde for us is the big city. Rimrock is worse. But I live on a mesa, and I garden, you know, I do gardening, and this is the time of year when I plant, you know, and I have a huge box of seeds because all my friends give me seeds, useless seeds from Germany, China, Russia, things that will never grow in Arizona. So first I throw out all those, and then there's like 5 boxes left, and then I make a drawing of the garden as I want it to be by June or July. And I have to consider which plants will grow first and which flowers will open at what time and who's taller than other ones, because I won't be able to see them from the porch. If I did what I did last year, which was I planted the zinnias in front of everything, I couldn't see anything behind them. And you plan your garden, right? You can plan your future and your life in the same way. I want to have this income by next year, this time. I would like to improve these relationships, or I would like to have this kind of person in my life by next year, this time, or 6 months from now. Or I have a bad back and I would like it to be gone. Or I would like my youthful energy back. Or I would like my husband to be affectionate again, or things like that. You can plant them according to this ancient wisdom. Can you show Diamond Cutter? According to this ancient wisdom, this is the oldest printed book in the world with a date on it. It's kind of it's a Google image, okay? But inside there is this wisdom, and I can give you 25 years of it in 2 nights, okay? And then you can start using it. You can start using it, okay? So we'll just start, all right? There are new ideas. There are some new ideas, all right? And you have to stretch your mind. You have to open your mind and you have to stretch it, okay? If it's something you heard before, you would have $200 million. It's something new. And then you have to try and stay with me, okay? So we'll do it the old way, the old Tibetan way, 1,000 years old. I'll ask you a question. You have to answer, enthusiastically. I also have a rosary here. The people in the front row they suffer for the others, okay? So I'll ask you a question. Don't be shy and just. So here we go. What is this thing? Yeah, it's a pen. She's interested in answering correctly because she's in the front row. Question: if a dog came in here from that door, if a small puppy dog came in here, and I whistled to it, and I said, and I waved this thing in front of the puppy dog, what will they do? Yeah, they would chew on it. Do they see this object as a pen? No, they don't. They see it as something to chew on, right? They see it as a chew toy. This sounds like basic questions, but they are important. And they are $200 million questions, really, seriously. And not just money, I mean relationships. You can have extraordinary relationships at work and in your private life forever, if you understand these things. Who's right, the dog or the person? I think you can say both, and I think that's a really good answer. Okay, the dog sees it as something to chew on. The human sees it as a pen. It is validly both a chew toy and a pen. There was only one guy in Florida in all of 30 years who insisted that it was a pen. And it couldn't be a chew toy, and that the dog was wrong, And I'm sure the dog thinks we are foolish not to take advantage of the delicious taste, Anyway, they're both right. Now here comes the important question, okay? This is the deep question, and this is the basis of what I would like to share with you for 2 nights, okay? If I put this object here on this table, and if all the people leave the room, and then if all the dogs leave the room, at that time, is it a pen or something to chew on? Which one? This is the universal answer. Every country, they'll say, I guess that's universal. I don't know why. But there's some gestures that aren't universal. I've learned that. But I was in Brazil and I did some gesture and that was the wrong one. But yeah, it's neither one. At that time it's not a pen yet until the human walks back in. And it's not a chew toy until the dog walks in. Left by itself with no people and no dogs around, at that time, it's neither one yet. It's neither one yet. It has the, what do you call it? It has the potential to be either one. If the human returns or if the dog returns, it will become that. If they both walk back in, it will become both at the same time, and there will be 2 realities in the room. Parallel realities going on. But so long as there are no observers in the room, then for that long, this thing is, then that's the Buddhist term is emptiness. That's the meaning of emptiness. So I had this thing when I first got to the monastery. I'm this guy, I'm like a young hippie from Phoenix. And somebody gave me a photo today of my rock and roll band in high school. I haven't seen it for like 40 years. It's pretty funny. So that was me, and I go to India, And then I got to the monastery and I said, I want to study here. Na Sangye Go. I learned some Tibetan. It means, I want a Buddha. I want a Buddha. And then they said, okay, you can come. And then they gave me this tiny little cell. I could touch the walls with my hands, And they said, until you get to be a more senior monk, you can stay here, So I went in this tiny room, and the beds are all Tibetan size. See, Tibetans are all like 5 feet tall. So I used to sleep with my legs curled up. Nowadays they put me in the penthouse hotel in Beijing, and I still sleep curled up in the corner of this huge bed, So then the Lama said, okay, do you understand how to meditate? And I thought, oh yeah, I know. Then he said, do you know about emptiness? I said, I know. Later he gave me a nickname. He didn't call me Mike, he called me Mr. I know. That was my name in the monastery for like 25 years. I know. Hey, I know, get me a cup of tea. So he said, okay, meditate about emptiness. Then I'll ring the bell and you come up and see me. He had a bell. I was like the dog. He had a bell. So he would ring his bell. I lived with the same Lama for 25 years. Old, cranky, old school Tibetan Lama, great scholar. So I sat down and I meditated about emptiness, and I thought, I closed my eyes and I said, everything is black, just black, everything is black. Then I heard the bell, ding, 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 run upstairs. Then when you come into a Lama's room, you have to knock, and they say, sho. Sho means come, dog. It's the word you use for a dog. It's a sho. Then you come in and you have to get down on your knees, which I won't do, okay? And then you have to slurp. I don't know why. You have to go. It's like respect, to show respect to the Lama, and in Tibet. And then he said, did you meditate? I said, yeah. What did you meditate about? Emptiness. What's emptiness look like? I said, you close your eyes, everything is black. He said, that's emptiness? I said, yes. He said, that's kukpa. I said, what's Kukpa mean, Lama? He says, idiot. You go try again. You go try again. Then I said, don't worry, I know. I read a book. I read a book in America about emptiness. Then I went back to my room, closed my eyes. I watched my thoughts go through my mind and try not to think them. Just watch them. They would start over near my ear and go over near my cheek and kind of go out. And I would watch my thoughts go and then not attach to them and not think about them. Then I heard the bell. Ding, ding, ding. Run up. Did you meditate? Yes. About what? Emptiness. What's emptiness? Close your eyes. Don't think about anything. If a thought comes, just follow it until it fades away. He said, that's emptiness? Yes. Shintukupa. Oh, what? Lama, what's a Shintukupa? Extremely idiot. Then I tried a third time. The third time I tried to, what is that? I tried to think everything was an illusion. Everything's an illusion, nothing matters. Don't feel good, don't feel bad, just be neutral. I thought like that. He called me up. He says, what's emptiness? I said, don't feel good, don't feel bad, don't think about anything. Don't feel happy if someone kisses you, don't feel sad if someone hits you. Just neutral. He said, that's a Shindunine Kupa. Then I said, what's that? He says, a super idiot. You are a super idiot, So then, what is emptiness? What is meditation? It's that by itself, this is not a pen. Okay? You agreed, right? By the way, this is a trick in Tibetan debating. We debate 4 or 5 hours a day, okay, for 25 years. So the trick is to lull the opponent. Oh, didn't we agree that if I put the thing here and the people went out and the dogs, you all nodded at that point, didn't you? And then you have to say, yeah, because you did. Anybody want to unnod? No, it's true. I mean, it is true. By itself, it's not a pen. Or else the dog would see it as a pen. They would pick it up. They would try, write a poem to their dog girlfriend. You have a nice tail, or something. You see, but they don't. They don't have. They don't see it that way. So why? Then the big question. By the way, this also applies to real estate investments in Manhattan. Okay, the building you saw, it's a 12-story building in Tribeca. At the time we bought it, it was a disaster area. And we made millions and millions of dollars off that. We bought it for $5 million. Reagan paid for it. And Dinkins, the mayor of New York. And we didn't pay electricity. And basically free. And now it's Saatchi and Saatchi is next door. And it's one of the prime areas in New York. So what I'm talking about, the pen applies to real estate, and it applies to business, and it applies to your wife or husband. Okay. So it's not just a pen. If I see a pen, why do I see a pen? And if the dog sees something to chew on, why? Because if we can answer that, we could make a real estate investment, right? And make a lot of money, you see? Why do I see a pen, you see? And the answer, according to ancient wisdom, is that there's a seed in my mind. I have a seed in my mind. And then that seed opens. When Geshe Michael goes like this, slow motion, right? Slow-mo, Geshe Michael goes like this. And he says, what is this? And then you see a pen, right? According to this thinking, there's a seed in your mind for a pen. And that seed, as I extend my hand, in the same instant, that seed opens in your own mind. And actually a picture of a seed, a small picture of a seed comes out of that, a pen, a small picture of a pen comes out of your mind, and your mind puts it on this object. And the dog has a different seed in their mind, and a different picture arises in their thoughts, and a different picture comes out. And a picture of a good real estate investment in a bad area of New York. Tribeca was the worst area in New York. Now it's the meat packing district, right? It's hot. It's really hot now. The real estate is crazy. How do you see opportunities like that? How do you know something's going to happen, right? How do you know that a certain area is going to be worth 10 times more in 5 years? How do you know those things? If you have a seed in your mind, you can know those things. And if you don't, then you'll probably chew on it, okay? No, I'm not kidding, okay? Everything according to ancient Tibetan idea is coming from your own mind, but not randomly. You can control the process, okay? Is this a real pen? Yes or no? Is it? Yeah, it's real. I have this joke. I say, anybody who thinks it's not real, come up here, I'll give you a mustache. You know, like you can have a Hitler mustache, a Saddam Hussein mustache, anyone you want. You know, of course it's real. Is it coming from your mind? Yes. If it wasn't coming from your mind, then the dog would see a pen. Get it. You must get that, okay? And it's true. It's true. It is coming from your mind. If it's not coming from your mind, then the dog would see a pen. So in the monastery, somebody will say, it's coming from my mind, but it's still real. I can still write with it. And they get a rosary from the Lama. Just, they say, the last word comes out of their mind, out of their mouth. They say, it's coming from my mind, but it's still real. Then they say, what's wrong? What did I say wrong? You know, Lama will say, it's not real even though it comes from your mind. It's real because it comes from your mind. Like, say it right. Say it correctly. It's not real even though it comes from your mind. It's real because it comes from your mind. And nothing that didn't come from your mind could be real. Okay? There's nothing in the world that doesn't come from your mind which is real. Okay? Everything that's real, that works. Real estate investments, real estate investments. They also come from your mind, and that's what makes them real. And you can control them, and then you can have a comfortable life, material life. You can donate money to many causes. You can help many people. Then the question is very simple. But by the way, we will take a break, okay? But I gotta get the basic stuff in before the break in case somebody runs away. The big question then is simple. Simply becomes, how do I plant a seed? You see, how do I plant a seed? How is a seed planted in the mind? Because then I could garden the next 6 months of my life. I could purposely plant seeds for financial independence. I could make my husband more affectionate. I could return my wife's interest in intimacy. I could fix my bad back. I could make my household more peaceful. And my own mind, your thoughts also are arising from seeds in your mind. Your own thoughts are also coming from seeds. And you can change the capacity of your mind, okay? You can learn foreign languages. You can play upright bass after never playing it in your whole life. Just pick it up and play it. You see, you can do cool stuff if you know how to plant seeds. So here's how you plant a seed, okay? Okay, Scotty, it's time for some money. You have any money? This is how I make extra money. I borrow money from him. Then I always forgot to give it back. Nothing. Yeah, my mind is not creating. Okay. I'll take the example of money. It's not because I'm concerned with money. I don't care about money much. I didn't go live in a monastery for 25 years because I wanted to make money. I went there because my mother died. My mother died very badly. And I left school. I was in Princeton. I left. I walked out. And I went to India because I wanted to